How was your day today? Have you ever had one of those days that ended the same way that it started? Well, I did, and that experience is the inspiration for this edition of Practical Assertion. I have entitled this segment, Stop Begging. It Makes People Hate You. Do you remember as a child either telling someone that or someone telling you that? The other morning, as I kissed my beautiful wife good day and left the car after arriving at the train station, I head toward the kiosk to purchase my ticket, and this cool brother approached me and asked the most stupidest, oh, I know there's no such word, but it helps to communicate my sentiments. So he asked me the most stupidest question I've ever heard. This guy asked me, hey brother, you wouldn't happen to have a spare ticket on you, would you? First off, I ain't your brother. Secondly, I'm at the kiosk purchasing a ticket, so how could I have a spare ticket? And thirdly, who carries around a spare ticket? Do you see what I mean about the stupidest question? I so wanted to say to him, stop begging, it makes people hate you. I can't tell you how many times individuals have approached me asking if I smoke. First off, it's none of your business, but I know for a fact that you are not really concerned about whether or not I smoke. Rather, you are really asking for a cigarette. Why would I want to support your habit? Buy your own because, stop begging, it makes people hate you. Later that evening, as I head back to the house, again, I arrive at the train station and purchase my ticket, and guess what? I deposit $3 into the kiosk to purchase my ticket, and believe it or not, after my ticket drops, my change follows, but much to my surprise, rather than the 50 cents that I was due, I received $1.25. Now, before any of you self-righteous folk ask whether I sought out a transit authority to return the overage, I actually have a receipt in my wallet where the kiosk, on one other occasion, did not have any change, so I was simply paid what was due me. Well, back to the topic. I board the train and begin my trek toward heaven on earth, that is, at home, with that beautiful wife of mine and the kids. I'm relaxing and thinking about a gospel meeting that I am scheduled to conduct as we roll down the tracks. As we pull into one of the downtown stations, a young lady boards and makes eye contact. Again, some of you self-righteous folk might be thinking to yourselves, why are you looking at that young lady? Let me tell you, in my role as chaplain with the Dallas Police, I happen to know how important it is to note everyone who comes into your space. So every time the doors of the train open, I'm checking people out. So anyway, believe it or not, she asked me for 75 cents. I'll be honest, my first thought was, you guessed it, stop begging, it makes people hate you. But having just been blessed with more change than I was due, I decided to share the blessing with her. We continue down the tracks and I finally arrive at my station and disembark and head over to the bus stop to await my next chariot. I have my headphones on and I've got to tell you, I was jamming. Again, being vigilant and walking circumspectly, I see another brother, and again, I make eye contact and move on. Out of my peripheral vision, I see him walk around to others there at the stop with that sad, pitiful look on his face. You know, the one that without saying a word, it evokes the childhood saying, stop begging, it makes people hate you. He circles and makes his way back to me. He's saying something, but again, I'm jamming, so I ain't hearing him. Again, with those eyes communicating, I remove my headphones and listen to his concern. He says to me, brother, I'm not trying to interrupt you. Well, you are. But I'm trying to get somewhere, he says, and I don't remember where he said he was trying to go. He says, and I'm $10 short. Can you spot me? First of all, you failed in your attempt not to interrupt me. Secondly, you're smoking a cigarette, so maybe if you would have used that $6 to put toward your ticket, you would be more than halfway there. Thirdly, it only costs $5 for a full day pass, so what mode of transportation are you trying to take? By the way, bro, don't you know that it's easier to get 10 people to give you $1 than trying to get one person to give you 10? I didn't help him, needless to say. I know, once again, you self-righteous folk viewing this or reading are probably saying, I thought we were supposed to help those in need. Well, you're right, but that same book that tells us that also tells us in 2 Thessalonians 3:10 that if any would not work, neither should he eat. Believe it or not, those same two guys, one of whom was begging, I saw after I dropped my son off to school the next morning, were on the parking lot of the Walmart, and you guessed it, the same one that was begging the night before was trying to flag me down as I drove away, shaking my head. Well, I'd love to get your view on the matter. Please comment, like us on Facebook, share this video or email with everyone you know, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week for another edition of Practical Assertion. Take care.